Oh, okay. We are recording. Hi, and it's do I say my Hong? How do I
Yeah,
say it?
it's my Huang.
My Wong? Well,
Yeah.
it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Gigi Haycock. We've not met, but I loved your film, and I'm a programmer at the SF Doc Fest, and I'm very excited that it's going to be in the festival. So I'm really hoping it can get a larger audience as well. So um, uh,
San Francisco is one of my best audiences
it is.
by
Why do you
far.
think that
Yeah.
is?
They're so enthusiastic, so supportive. Yeah,
That's
I had an amazing time there last time.
Oh, good. I was just there. I love it. And for work, but I got to see some people. I used to live there. So I live in Denver now, and we have a cat cafe here, as well. So I was reading that it was Cat Daddies that you were filming, and that's how brought Sip and Purr to your attention. Uh, what was it? About it? Was it that you heard it globally was adopting and rescuing cats?
Yeah, so when I was at the Milwaukee Film Festival, when I go to film festivals, I try to stop by cat cafes whenever I can. So I got a tour and I learned more about their international rescue work. And what really struck me was that Katie, the protagonist in the film, she's pretty much doing these rescues in other countries all by herself for the most part. Like, this is not any kind of sanctioned rescue mission. She just happens to also be a flight attendant. So she's able to travel a lot. She's able to see the situation. She has the cat cafe as a way to sort of funnel these cats to adoption. So she
Hmm.
has the resources to do this. Yeah, it's definitely not something that just anyone can do. And it got me interested in sort of the areas that she was helping in the Middle East because they weren't conflict areas. They weren't areas of disaster. So why do cats need to be moved such a long distance? What is the urgency? And so yeah, making she just happened to have a trip planned for Qatar. So I said, yeah, why don't we document that? Why don't I join you? So that's kind of what happened.
Okay. Yeah,
Sorry,
because
I don't know if you're editing, but I may have to cough.
they can edit, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Yeah, I imagine that there's some criticism that can happen that, oh, we have so many cats in the US that need to be adopted. And I know she does actually work with a rescue Lakeland, I believe, or something in
Yes.
Milwaukee. Yeah. As well as doing this. And so it's what's amazing to me is she did this in 4 days.
Yes. As she explains a little bit in the movie, it doesn't seem to matter if she's there for a few days or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Um, things constantly change as you'll see as you saw in the film. And so really it doesn't make sense to be there a long time. Uh,
Yeah.
so it's just more efficient to, 4 days is probably just enough to get the job done. And there's been some cases where she was delayed and had to got stuck in the country for a week or a longer period of time,
Yeah.
so anything can happen, so we're kind of like prepared for whatever.
Yeah. We'll just roll with it because I can't imagine they have what, 3 million people and 3 million cats on the street. I think it was said in the film. I might be incorrect in quoting that, but it's just a lot of cats. And it's so juxtaposed with how pristine Doha looks, right? When you're looking at the streets, it's just like it's so perfect. And then, with the volunteers, they all go out and you can see all the cats, and it looks such a difference with the kind of lives these cats are trying to survive and live in. But it must be very difficult to choose. I can't imagine what that's like. But one of my favorite things is that she says is next time. So there's always that hope that uh, there's going to be, she's going to come back and she's going to be able to, do this because, did she end up with 31 cats?
Yeah, in the end it was 31. She also, she'll take it. A lot of cats travel through flight buddies or flight angels, they call them. So sometimes she just goes to the airport and picks them up. But when she's moving that many cats, she really has to hand select because they need to be friendly. Otherwise, they're not going to get adopted quickly. So it's
Mhm.
really important for her to, as much as possible, visit the cat, know its personality, know that it's adoptable.
Yeah,
Because I think in the past she has had a few surprises where there's a just, an unadoptable feral cat that
yeah,
shows up. And that's really not good for anyone or the cat.
yeah,
So yeah, the cat has to be fit. If the cat is too terrified and shy, it's not a fit for the long journey.
yeah. So how about Manu? I know that that one cat had I'm not going to remember the specifics.
Yeah, he has a great life now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very loved. But what man, he is just incredibly lucky. Actually, he looks, I'm kind of attached to Manu because my cat is orange and white, also from the streets. And, I don't know how he survived a couple years on the streets before, we took him in. So Manu really reminds me of this cat Creamsicle here. And it's he's so lucky because he showed they had been feeding him for a while, but they didn't take him into the home until about 2 days before Katie's arrival. So the timing was really lucky. I mean,
Yeah.
if it had been a few days off, who knows? I don't know where he would be or how he would survive.
Yeah. So do they foster so when they arrive, are they fostered first before they go into the cat cafe?
So it depends. It varies. So some of them are just ready, they're fine, they're ready. Some of them need time to decompress. So they usually decompress in a back room. Some of them go off with a foster into a foster home. Some of them need medical attention, so they'll go in Katie's foster room or with another foster until they're ready, cleared and ready to go into the main cat cafe.
How is Mr. Khan? How is he doing in the
Umair, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
he's he's thrilled about the release. He's wanting to come to one of the shows in the US. So we're hoping that happens at some point. He's still working. He's still working all the time. I know he's trying to find a way out. He's trying to move to another country. He would love to come to the US or, some other country. I don't think he wants to go back to Pakistan, but he, doesn't really see a future for raising his family in Qatar.
Uh,
But, obviously he's torn because of the cats and he's going to take care of them. So we're doing everything possible using the movie to hopefully help him and help the situation.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, he's gonna have to pass on this work to somebody else. And that's the main problem in Qatar. It's not just that there's a lot of cats that need help, there's not enough people who can help. Most people there work long hours like he does, or they work multiple jobs.
yeah,
Uh, so they really aren't able to TNR. They really aren't able to foster and do all these things that he's doing. He's lucky because, as you see in the movie, he has a lot of drivers that help him.
yeah. Yeah, and the people who have that house, that whole those women who had that whole house, and they're where the cats could be too. I mean, there's so much love you can tell coming through, and that the people care so much about these animals, and the fact that the ones that are chosen are the ones that are in special needs. You know, a lot of it, they're blind or they like tripod or
Yeah.
would have just one. Three legs and stuff. And so it's just extremely moving through the whole thing. It was a little difficult for me because I love it just to see the cats in the conditions that they are and on the street, but just knowing that there are people that care about them and are doing what they can to, I don't know, give them a better life. And the veteran, the veterinary, there's not a lot right there. It seems to be just a few. And do you think that Qatar will change their views on, I mean, do they promote spaying and neutering, or is it?
So they do, and it's actually free there, which is kind of what was really interesting to me because, we think it's all about money, that money will solve things. And that's not true because they have the money, they have free spay and neuter. But the problem is that obviously it's mismanaged. Whoever is in control at the top, perhaps is not well informed or not, this is not, a high priority for them. So it really is a lot of different factors that go into, how do we solve this problem? And we can't just throw money at it. It's obviously not working there. There's other factors as well. And some of it's just education, some of it's just, I mean, even here in the States, a lot of people feel like animals are low priority, or animals have their role as animals and that's it.
Yeah.
And they're,
Mhm.
or that they are something to be exploited. So I hope that there's a message here. I mean, of course, I want this movie to help the cats in Qatar, but also I hope there's a message more overreaching about uh, how we are exploiting animals and how it is really changing our environment. Our it's really a damage to the environment in our communities, um, that we practice these things.
Yeah. Well, I did look up a statistic that there's now approximately 270 cat cafes in the US, but Sip and Purr is the one that is the only one, at least that seems to do globally. So that was an interesting thing, and very thankful for that work that Katie does.
Yeah, a few other cat cafes have started to accept international cats.
Oh,
Um,
good.
Not, again, it's more like the flight buddy, you
Yeah.
know, um, type of situation where they'll pick them up at the airport. They usually get sponsored in or something. So there
Mhm.
is that. Um, so, the awareness is growing.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of these pets over there, they're very adoptable. They were once loved, but they're discarded, and they really should be in a home, and they just won't survive on the street.
Yeah. Well, it's a very hopeful film, if you ask me, because is she going back anytime soon? Maybe that's a good ending question. Or
Um,
what's the timeline, do you think?
Probably not, just because the cafe just reopened, so they're adjusting, um, you know, to all that. And she's traveling for the movie, so
Oh, good. Yeah.
yeah, so she'll be at a lot of in-person screenings, and but she's getting a lot of requests, so she's
Good.
planning on doing some more. And
Hmm.
I don't think you can stop her.
Yeah, I don't think you can
I
either.
don't think you can stop her.
Well, I'm glad. And thank you so much for your time. I loved the film, obviously, and I'm glad it's going to reach a broader audience, and so we can take care of, help take care of this problem, this global crisis, really. It's not just
Yeah, I
a
would like
population.
to see it change in my lifetime. For
Yeah,
sure.
great. Well, thank you so much for your time, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gigi.
Bye.